Preferred rates, regular lanes, and a dispatcher. What's in your carrier program? Dealers, consigners, shippers, and customers expect top-notch professional service when shipping cars with you. So how do so many brokers make it all happen? Please say hello in the live chat. Share your thoughts, grow your network, learn from the best on ATI Auto Business. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to Industry Logistics on ATI Auto Business, where everyone learns more about the automotive industry. We are talking about carrier program today. It's something that I've talked a lot about to many brokers in the past. Help me wish a warm welcome to my co-host on Thursdays. Hey, Sue.
Hey, what's up?
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Means we're back to the grind.
Yeah. I don't think I left.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's the new year, and right, it's...
This week's been pretty sucky, I can tell you that.
Really? What's been going on? You take it away.
Loads have just been either non-existent or too cheap or, whatever, or falling through when we go to pick it up, lying about whether they run and drive. I mean, just on and on. It's been a real bruiser of a week, let's put it that way.
When do you want to pick it up?
Wow.
Oh, and then I told you about the one thing about this broker that I believe is a fake broker on the board that dispatched us a load, and we delivered to the dealership, and they're like, we didn't use a broker, and we were only paying this amount of money, and if you want to get paid or get scammed, take my money now, or you're not going to get paid from this supposed broker. So...
yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. So that is, and you know me, I fuzz out names.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a pretty generous guy. I know that doesn't seem to be the consensus. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding out there. I really, I want to help protect other people's, reputation and business, and I'm considerate. But on this one,
this
sounds like
else.
a scam.
It is a total scam, and he's got a bunch of listings on there. He just started his brokerage. I think I told you January. And he may have all the legit stuff on there, but we've found that to be the case, that they all have legit stuff on there. They only last about a month after they've not paid people, and then they're gone. And I'm pretty sure that's what this is going to happen. But.
And so, just to take one more chance, one more benefit of the doubt, I mean, were you able to talk to him when you booked the load?
No, he was a texter.
Ah, crap.
Texter. Well, and it made me, okay, so why I was curious about it anyways was because we just hauled for this dealership last week, and they listed their own cars. So I thought it was really odd that this same guy listed this guy's cars that was listing them on the board. So I called them when we got the load. He didn't say anything like anything was wrong.
Them being the dealership?
The dealership that we were delivering to. Yeah.
Okay. You called the dealership prior to pickup?
Yeah, because I was missing the buyer number too. So I called him and I said, I got dispatched this, da 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 da. Okay, here's the buyer number. Didn't say anything like anything fishy was going on. He acted like, now I'm thinking he thought he had dispatched it to us, and that's why we're missing the buyer.
That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
So the dealership thought business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they don't have the buyer number. No
right.
big deal.
Yeah.
It was on our dispatch.
Right. Right.
Maybe, okay, so how about the next step? Does he dispatch through Central?
Yes.
Did he notice that it hadn't moved in his TMS to dispatched?
I don't know.
Right.
I mean, that I don't
right?
know. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You got to start
I will be
committee.
I sent him out an invoice today because I wanted to see what's going to happen, because you and I both know it's not going to happen. But yeah, when we delivered to them, and see, they knew who my driver was, because like I said, we had just delivered to him last week. He said, that's a scam. He goes, we were only paying this amount of money, not the amount that we were dispatched for.
Right, the amount was wrong.
Uh-huh. And he said...
and it's interesting, too, the buyer number was missing.
But he had all the lots.
Was the buyer number on the... the buyer number was probably not on the original posting. It
Yeah,
would have been in the dispatch, not the post.
exactly.
That's why they didn't have it.
Well, but how did
This
they get they had the lot numbers though.
they did.
They had the stock numbers. They just
How
did not
would a
have the buyer
scammer
numbers.
get lot numbers and stock
Well, the
numbers?
only thing I'm thinking would be that they dispatched it to another company. Said company was fake, and this guy takes the loads and then reposts them. So he had part of the information, but not all the information. What was even more odd is I said I was missing the buyer number, never responded to me, said he'd get back to me, never did. So that's why I called because I thought it was awfully odd. All of it was weird. So that's why I went and checked. But
Hey,
when the dealership never said anything to me, probably because they thought they had dispatched it to me.
yeah, no, and I
Yeah.
understand why they would, you know.
Yeah.
So it just made me think. Okay, guys, camera one, is it possible to update the load board to identify duplicate listings? To
That would
flag
be nice.
duplicate listings and then begin those duplicates into a funnel of potential scam. Is that doable?
No,
I know you're not a coder,
yeah.
but attention developers, is
Yeah.
it possible to develop that kind of code? Because wouldn't that help?
Yeah, no.
Hey, duplicate listing flag. Now, what you do with the now that you realize you have a duplicate listing, what do you do with it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I mean, can you imagine all load boards? I'm not naming any load
Yeah.
boards. I love them all
Right.
equally. Just did you see Jimmy Carter's funeral where all the presidents had to sit together?
No, I missed that.
Oh man.
I'm
And now
sure
there's an
anything.
AI video meme where they start fighting. Like Kamala's trying to. It is icy.
Yeah.
You got Hillary, you got Kamala, you got Trump. Obama is playing like mediator.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Obama, I'm sure they had a meeting. Obama got tasked with trying to just keep Trump busy. Here's the thing Obama's so slick, he probably had fun doing it.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Hey, Donald. Hey, listen. I'm going to go golfing with Bill. We're going to bring you along if you want to go. Well, okay. I'm going to do all the. Okay, so we're going to look into some freight wagon. That's messed up.
Yeah. It really
And
is. And if
it's totally jacked up.
and if we're not going to put the name, if you want to know who it is,
No,
text
I already-
me. I'll tell you who it is. Just so
Oh,
you
we're
have
going to
an
put the
idea.
name.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah, I already said part of it.
Okay.
Live chat, what's going on? Welcome. What kind of week are you having? You just anything? I need like a crap of the week, but haven't we already tried crap of the week? Actually, nothing works anymore. Like send us your beef.
Right.
Nothing works. Like nothing works.
Nope.
All right. So what's this carrier program business? Here's what happened. I realized we didn't have a show. We had like no topic for today. And I'm like, okay, come on. There's topics out there. We haven't covered carrier program. I've talked about it with different brokers at trade shows about developing carrier programs.
Hmm.
Like this is a thing.
Yeah.
So I went back to the drawing board and put a workup together of a modern carrier program. We're going to ask for feedback, participation. But we don't have any giveaways. Oh my gosh. There are no giveaways on ATI. No, nothing. Okay, so know your ecosystem, new, used, dealer, auction, logistics, etc. You want giveaways? Go to NADA, man. You're going to need a truck with all the giveaways they got at NADA. Actually, you're going to need to empty your truck. Drive empty to NADA, and you will be able to fill your truck with free swag. I'm telling you, it's going to be nuts. We're the neutral zone. We tell it like it is, which is why our ratings are so good. It's Thursdays at noon, industry logistics, and it's also not like, like I've seen, I got to bag on some shows for a second. I see these shows, like, they kind of still go, actually most shows have just turned into like images and like kind of look. I call it the whatever show. You ever heard me do the whatever show speech?
I think so, yeah.
Next.
Ready for it.
Oh shit! It's great. Last week was winter car shipping status report.
Yeah.
How's weather effect? That show did pretty well.
Well,
I think it was
we're getting
your
another storm in this
It
weekend.
was your photo. That's what sold the show. Hey, show me the truck. Janice is working.
Yep.
Okay, there are going to be parades in the streets as soon as they put out the fires. California drops pursuit of advanced. It's not funny. I got a fire story later. We're going to end with some pretty negative crap. Okay? So stick around. California drops pursuit of advanced clean fleets rule. The state of California has withdrawn its remaining outstanding request for waivers that would have allowed the state to enact emissions limits that exceed federal standards. You know, that's what's interesting. California was exceeding federal standards on emissions. And I mean, that's what, that's Joe Biden federal standard. That's pretty interesting. Lee Zeldin, Trump's nominee to lead the EPA, had previously pledged to prioritize efforts to roll back these regulations. California had submitted the Advanced Clean Fleets request to the EPA, blah, blah. I know it's super boring. Oh, my God. What a snooze. But nonetheless, the trucking industry and American consumers can breathe a collective sigh of relief because now CARB has finally bowed to reality, shelved its job-killing, allegedly, Advanced Clean Fleets regulation program, said ATA president. Which means, now you can burn wood in your muffler again or whatever. Let her rip. I just, for the record, we are kicking the can down the road. So, it's okay. We're used to kicking cans. What's the deficit now? What's the U.S. deficit? I'm going to Google it. U.S. deficit. I don't know. It's many trillion now. All right, let's go to deficit tracker. They don't even have a number this big. It's 711 billion. I'm sorry, we're not in the trillions yet? Oh, that's awesome. Spend away. All right, Jay. I know you're having your fun. Hey, Elena. Hey, Gary. DDD. I hear you now.
Okay, it says on mine. It says as of January 14th, 2025, 2 trillion.
Oh, it is in the trillions. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, but it's not 3 trillion.
What's a trillion to a billion? Hey.
What's the interest rate on that?
Yeah.
And by the way, who are we paying again? So I came up with a crazy idea. You want to hear it?
What?
Ask if China wants to buy California. You know what they'd say?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. They've been doing some stuff according to...
Dude,
yeah.
Sell them California. I like California. But what are we doing? I really do. I'll share. You know what? I've spent enough time there. I like California. When I see the news, I'm disturbed. I literally watched for one evening. I was very disturbed. I do not watch since.
Yeah.
I don't. But I do want to know what's up with the hydrants. Stick around.
Yeah.
We've got a hydrant update for you today.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Yeah, I actually checked it out. I'm not surprised. Makes sense.
You saw the interview where the lady was talking to him and he was saying he was on the phone with Biden and then he wasn't on the phone with Biden.
Oh, yeah. No, that was Governor Newsom.
Yeah.
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 Now, but here's the thing. The governors say and do, and presidents, governors, presidents,
yes.
Whoever's.
Yes.
They say and do whatever makes the most sense at that moment.
Right.
That's what they do.
Right. He just got caught.
But further down the structure, there is somebody who actually knew those hydrants didn't work right. That's who you point the finger at.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Anyways, stick around. We got that. Shoot chats, dispatching live. We got it all. Hey, did you get the memo? Really, it's not going to zoom in? All right. That's fine. I don't care. Don't zoom in. Hey, so Eric from Central Dispatch says, "Great show, guys." This is to last Thursday. Sue cuts right to the point, delivers amazing feedback. Oh, he said excellent. Now, we are deploying a change to the price check tool, and price check information is available in 3 places. So that might explain some of the confusion. We do monitor feedback, and I mean, you can see he went into he's into detail here, which
Yes. And I got a call too. So, yeah.
You did? Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I say, let's go into the detail,
Yeah.
Let's make it.
Yeah, I mean, and we can show them too, because Blake called me from Central Dispatch as well, and it went almost like detailed each thing that I brought up, we went over. And he did say he apologized profusely about that whole price check thing that was not working that day because that was all messed up. But it is fixed now.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Your feedback last Thursday has already had an effect.
Yes. I think it was done almost the next day.
Are you guys hearing this? Sue and I. Yeah, Sue and Jay, 2 crazy people on Thursdays, are actually having a positive effect on the American economy. That is insane. There's no way that's true. No way. There's no way that's true. These 2 guys. Somebody right now there's somebody at some company right now going, there's no way. There's no way. It's true.
It is true.
And Eric says he talked to Blake, and yeah, that's really, really neat. Then he attached this.
Yes.
So now,
let me explain.
Yes, you explain.
Because he went over this with me. So anybody that has the regular subscription will still have check prices. So this is the premium plan, where it's going to give you more information than just the normal check prices. You do not have to sign up for it. You can sign up for it. It's going to benefit probably more people than others. I did ask him to do a few more things for us, because this is... So when we all list a car, as we all know, it doesn't, like, you may put winch on there, or it's in-op, right? So we all know that if you go to Copart or IA, they load a car for you. But I asked them to put on there a button that says winch. I asked them to put a button on there for, was it winch? Oh, if it was going to the port. Because as we all know, who wants to call if it's something that you cannot do? And when I list a car, I always list, like, if it's dealer to dealer, port to whatever, I put that on there. Not that everybody reads it, but I put it on there. But if there was a little checkbox that somebody could check and it comes over when they see the load, then it may stop some of the phone calls that are not necessary, because not everybody goes to the port. Not everybody has a winch. Or if there's no keys or something like that. I asked if we could do something more specific to make it easier as a even transporter or a dispatcher to pick the right car in a faster manner, is the way I look at it. So we'll see what happens with that. I think that would be handy for most dispatchers and transporters, to be honest with you. If they all did what I did and listed where it was to and from, that would be great, but we all know that doesn't happen. And I noticed too, because they've moved the area around when you look at a load now too. Where we used to put our information at was in, I believe, additional terms. That's in a different, so many characters, so not everything always fits. Sometimes I have to be creative to make it all fit to where they can sometimes understand it, like RES to RES need winch or no keys or something like that. I wish that had more characters so we could put more stuff in it. There are a lot of characters in the add additional notes, but like I said, it's in a different section when you're looking at the load. So you have to click on the load to be able to see that additional information, and not everybody does that. So that's why I put it always in the ID information.
Right. It's you know, it's interesting. We're still talking about dispatch notes.
Right.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
They're so important. I mean, it's such a big deal
Really is.
to operations, to the driver, to the customer. It's a big deal for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this for a second. Broker transparency rule gets heated as comment period ends. Okay, broker transparency rule. When we say broker transparency rule, we're thinking what? What does that make you think?
Well, I thought it was so that they have to explain how much they're making off the load.
That's it.
Okay.
Wow. Nice. You just won a car.
Oh, I wish.
Okay. So,
What is it, a 1999 Accord?
full transparency, we don't have a car. Okay, so the rule naturally has been met with polarized feelings. As written, it would require all brokers on request to submit any records that have to do with a load within 48 hours of request. These records must be kept electronically and can be viewed remotely, whereas, see, current rules say carriers got to go to their office.
Wow.
Like, who has...
That's why they
the
don't
current
do it.
rule.
Yeah.
That's okay, that's not fair. That's not fair. What carrier's got time to go
No.
drive into an office?
Well,
No, that is a BS rule. That's why it's being updated.
yeah.
Yes, you should be able to check it out remotely. Now we're going to go into more polarization. Okay. The biggest thing is that the rule would require that the records contain for each shipment in the transaction all charges and payments connected to the shipment, including description, amount, and date, along with any claims connected to the shipment, such as shipper's claims for damage and delay. Again, sounds pretty reasonable so far.
Yeah.
This amendment would ensure the parties have full visibility to payments, fees, and charges associated with the transaction, so they can resolve issues and disputes among themselves without resorting to costlier remedies. The problem is, at what point can a customer walk into Chipotle and say, yeah, I want to get a burrito bowl and I want to see your books?
I want to see how fresh that meat is.
Right? Exactly. I want to know the cost of the lettuce.
Yeah.
I want to know this BS profit on sour cream. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So I
Right.
understand a level of reason.
Yeah.
Here's some compelling arguments. The assertion that the rule would correct imbalances in negotiating power fails to account for the fact that shippers and carriers inherently possess a higher level of negotiating power since they own the assets involved in the transaction. Freights and trucks. See, which is, you don't have more, just because you own the truck doesn't mean you have more power in the transaction.
No.
And then this guy says it's unfair to brokers, full disclosure of rates, fines, fees. Anyways, this is an issue that will never die.
No.
To me, this is like trying to solve the Middle East problem. It's never going to happen. You're never going to solve
it from
this.
both sides of it, so
Me too.
I get it. And that's the thing, though. Not all brokers are going to be like what they're talking about. That it's double, triple, whatever the drivers can get. That's the problem. It's you have it both ways.
And that's where somebody will say, well, what's wrong with me making $1,000 off of, if the carrier got a fair rate,
Right.
why should we be penalized if we can make $1,000 off that car?
Well, that's true too.
I know. That's the thing. It's a reasonable argument.
Right.
Listen, if you can get the customer to hack up thousands of dollars to move a car and you take half,
Right.
I mean, that's America. New car payments are $1,000 now.
I'm sure.
Some people are like, what's up? I love it. Like, really? Who are you? Let's see. Here we go. Let's go into some vetting.
Yeah.
Ship.Cars will now handle all aspects of carrier vetting for Montway, Auction Direct, Auto Shipping Group, and Consumer Direct Transport. Does this mean that we now are acknowledging the relationship between these two companies?
Apparently, that's what I
Can we
took
just
it.
get to the truth?
Yes.
Really? Sorry. I like both of those companies.
Maybe
Listen,
it'll go faster that way. I don't know.
For the record, I like executives of both of these companies. And I think some of the executives of both of these companies would really they'd want to know why there has been dispatch beef in the past.
Hold on.
So,
Right now.
I mean, can't fix everything. All right, let's try this one. Oh, no. Carrier vetting firm brokers overstepping in onboarding. All right, before I do anything, have you seen any onboarding vetting? I know you got stuff going on. Sue,
Yes.
Have you seen any onboarding or carrier vetting questions that you thought overstepped the bounds?
Yeah. When they ask for a social security number or something to that effect, I have a problem with that. And they do that on occasion. It's not as prevalent as it used to be. I think too many people complained about it and said they weren't going to do it. Um, I understand asking for a federal ID number, but asking for a social is a little different deal.
Yeah. Okay. Because one could, when we
Steal.
fill out applications,
Yeah.
we're all human beings, and there's a moment where, based on the question we're being asked, we wonder if, God, do I answer that? Right?
Yeah.
Like, and so here's what this article's about. I found it pretty interesting. Okay, owner-operators allege highway. I'm reading an article, not making an assertion. That highway is overstepping with carrier onboarding process. In the carrier vetting landscape, da-da-da-da-da. Owner-ops told this magazine about a handful of big brokers using Highway, a Dallas-based carrier vetting and onboarding platform with some data requirements the carriers found going over the line. And that sometimes they get bombarded with paperwork for a broker they're already hauling for. That's interesting too. Or they're losing customers they used to haul for, but now can't because of some field on a form. In the last few months, reported some broker customers moving over from RMIS to Highway for onboarding and monitoring, and in that process getting locked out of freight.
Oh.
This guy has a 2020 Freightliner 98 engine, not required by law to use an ELD. But now brokers say they won't use him because it doesn't fit some box, losing thousands of dollars loads. Even brokers he's already been set up with before, but now he can't check the ELD box.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Trying to onboard with a broker through Highway, okay. Asking for a truck's VIN, okay.
Yeah.
Copy of the title,
Wow.
okay. Copy of the loan payments.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
No. You don't need a copy of the loan payments on the truck. What?
Vin is pushing it.
You need a copy of my apartment lease agreement? What I feed the kids? I mean, what that really is too far.
That's yeah.
Who gets a copy of payments you make on assets? No. That's not right. That's not right. She says that's vital information that could be used to impersonate her. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. Think of what else other information is on those loan payment documents. You can't have that. And when she calls into Highway, she's connected to overseas call centers that feel like they can't, address her concern. Which is, boy oh boy, do we all just love international call centers.
Yeah.
Way to go, America.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, that's usually a BS situation. Because if you ask an individual, how do you like international call centers? Nobody likes that.
No.
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 True answers only. Answers no. And then after submitting certificate of insurance, cab card, license, even more, given all the information, you can still get refused. So you gave him all the stuff, and you still get refused. Boy, that just feels good. Highway doesn't really make hiring decisions. Highway's mission is to connect more legitimate carriers to legitimate brokers. Right, we understand the mission. I'm just not sure about all of the... But I'm just reading an article, Highway. I'd love to have you on the show. Actually, I'm going to have a... we're going to carrier program next. I am going to be talking to a carrier vetting software rep tomorrow.
Okay.
Try and get a personal demo. Try and put together a show, actually.
Okay.
I've also had other conversations with some some technology companies. So I'm working on putting together future shows for that. Ooh,
Let me know if they do.
how do you suggest verifying the person you're talking to actually owns the truck? That's a great question. Can you do the authorization? How about that? Can you do that authorization code thing where, hey, what's your email address?
Send
And
you
put in the code?
Yeah.
But couldn't a scammer take control of your email?
Yes. It happens all the time. That's why I think we were all getting hacked. They were looking at our emails. Yeah.
How do you suggest verifying the person you're. How do you do that?
Well, they've
And,
been doing it by the driver's cell phone or the owner's cell phone too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, right. Well, so what if you get the email?
Hmm.
I mean, I don't even know what system we're talking about, but we're going to send you a verification code via email.
Hmm.
And then you need to use your cell phone and enter it.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No.
It goes directly to, they call the drivers or owners. It doesn't matter who it is. And they will only call the number that's listed with the FMCSA. So if your driver owner's number is
Oh,
not the one
okay.
listed,
Okay.
they
Okay.
will, that's the only way they'll do it.
So, all right. So speaking of, I did have a conversation. I'm talking to the vetting company again tomorrow, but I did have a prior conversation, and I was seeing some of their, wow, the carrier vetting software intricacies. Whoa, it's getting pretty intense. So yeah, like double checking FMCSA information. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And Stashovich says, and that is the carrier that owns the truck as well on the insurance policy. That is the truck that will be delivering the car the broker is dispatching. I like the question, Stashovich. What vetting software have you been involved with, or what is there? I guess my question should be: is there a vetting software that is helping users like you prove who you are to become that VIP carrier? And that's actually where we're headed today. Carrier program. It could be called VIP carrier. It's just that VIP, VIP. Carrier program for transportation broker. What's the point of this? To structure a program that attracts, retains, and rewards the best and most trusted carriers. It's no secret. So, what are the parts of a carrier program? All right, well, you probably start with, can I work with this carrier? Is this carrier a good fit for me and my customers?
Right.
That's got to be the first thing, really, because I don't want to do lunch and go on vacation with you if we can't pass this first step. Many companies say, I never want to go on vacation with you, actually. All right, what kind of equipment do you have? And it made me think of, when you do intake, this is intake, right? When you do intake, and many companies do intakes, Sue, when you do an intake of a carrier, what do you ask them? What's your equipment?
Well, no, usually I just get their name first and I go look them up, and then I verify equipment, that kind of thing. Then I get an insurance cert. Then I get the driver's name and phone number. And until I get all that information, nobody gets a load.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple notes. I'm going to update this thing as we talk. COI, that's good.
Driver's name and number, because usually who you're talking to is not the driver. I will say the new thing on Central with the FMCSA right there in your face is fantastic, because it tells you right then and there if they're a legit company, if they've been shut down, if that kind of thing.
So you check, you verify with FMCSA.
It's right when you look up a company name now, it's right on the screen.
Yeah. You use the DOT number or MC number?
No, I just usually look up their company name.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, cool. And so, right, this is compliance documentation. There's your COI. You're going to check if you see anything weird in the safety record, you're going to be like, no.
Right.
Or whatever.
Because we've honestly seen stuff on here that says they're out of service, or they have no insurance, or something like that. It comes up red, just so everybody knows. If there's something wrong on the FMCSA checklist, it comes up red immediately, and something's up. Yes, control.
When you get through that stuff,
Yeah.
do you talk about technology in the beginning? When do you talk about technology? Like, do you have a cell phone? Do you have a fax machine? Do you ever do that? Do you know how to use
No.
XYZ mobile app? You don't do that?
No, because I don't use an app, but I know that hauling for certain places, they require you, and some of the things they ask are, does your driver know how to use this app? Does your driver have this app? We
Okay,
require
so the
it for
question
the
does get
load.
asked. Okay, that question
Yeah.
gets asked.
Yes.
But, okay. Because
Or,
I'll tell you what, it reminds me, what brokers are you set up with?
right.
Right? Or, right?
Yeah.
Which,
When you
it,
fill out some of there's the, do you remember, and it's not happened very often, but
yeah,
there's a
carrier
link they'll
packets.
send you, you click on it to do your verification process. And once you go through that, then it verifies everything. And sometimes it is linked to the driver. So then it has to go to them to verify it, to say who you really are and all that good stuff. There's another one. Gosh dang it. What's the name of that company?
Gary says SMS records. What's an SMS record?
I don't know. Oh, text records. SMS is text.
Text records?
Well, to prove that they really are, I guess that's a way to go about it.
What is it? I'm not. I'm actually being serious. What's a text record? I don't get it.
Well, you could look at their texts, is what I believe they're saying. Like you could ask for a list of their texts on their
To do
phone.
what? What would
I
you do with those?
I don't know. I guess to verify they are who they are. I don't know. I mean, anybody can make that stuff up too, I think.
So, hey, Gary, do me a favor. I'm being serious. Clarify what that means, because
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. SMS records. Maybe it means safety. Maybe safety.
See, I always
Safety?
thought SMS is a text. Is what
Right, but it can't. That may. Okay, well, so I'll tell you what. We can work with you, but you need. I need to download your phone.
Yeah. I need
Right.
to see who you've been talking to in the last
Right,
24 hours.
SMS is safety.
Oh, okay.
You know, it says here that you sent a text to you were. It says here you were in Louisville when you sent this text, but I think you were in Texas. Okay. All right, so we don't do that. All right, so we got them vetted.
You could have a location tracker on their phone to see if they're really where they say they are.
And I also need you to swallow this pill.
Well, and
But
here,
we're headed that-
I was talking to you
Right,
about a
no,
problem
driver's
I
like,
had this week about a
we're headed
driver
there.
not being where they said they were. So I could understand some of
no.
that, right?
Golly.
Yeah.
Okay, SMS is safety, inspections, roadside.
Okay.
Thank you. Love it. Appreciate that. Okay. Now, this is where, okay, this is going to work out. We can work together. Now, I would build a carrier profile.
Yeah.
Where's your home? Where you like running? Right? What do you like to haul? Are you, do you have a winch? Is there anything you're great at? What kind of revenue you trying to make? How many cars do you haul? All that stuff, right? Tell me about you and your lane.
The big brokers ask this stuff.
They do?
Like Metro, you fill out a form. This is a lot of the stuff that
Right.
you fill out. You
Right.
pick the states. Like United Road has a thing. You pick the states. But I mean, most of us, when starting out, just click on everything because we don't know where we're going to go.
So, and here's where we're gonna get to. This is why I think, like, there's right now with Jay, yeah. Okay, you did it when they signed up.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody done any follow up of any kind? And that's the problem. That's where we're gonna get to. That's where everything's gonna fall apart. Let's see. And then, now we're going to get into transparency. We're moving beyond just talking. Now we're going to do some loads. Do they get to see that information? This gets into broker transparency. I mean, how much transparency do you give your preferred carriers? I don't know the answer to that. And then, do you give them a dispatcher? Some of the brokers say that with our preferred carriers, we provide a dispatcher. I've seen it recently on, I don't know, a tech company was saying we give you a dispatcher or whatever. And I mean, that can be a really big deal. That now some people will be like, oh, whatever, I don't care about a dispatcher. But if you have additional help getting loads, making sure that it works, it's on your route, that load's ready to go. Sue, I don't want you to name any. Can you think of any big brokers that actually have an in-house dispatcher that will help make sure you're successful on that load? And you're muted. Because you're very courteous.
Well, okay.
I mean, I've heard it said, I just don't know of any that do it.
Well, I will give kudos to Carpool right now at this moment, but that was only after we did several loads for them that I got contacted by a specific person asking me what our lanes were. Not before that, though. It was after we did probably 10, 15 loads that we were doing regular routes of a certain area. Then they asked me. Not really anybody else. I mean, I'd love to tell you anybody else,
I know,
but
that's what I'm saying. What is going on with how long is this going to go on? There are big, giant, mega brokers
yeah.
going to NADA with more than 10 people
Wow.
to get the sale. But I can't name one proactive dispatcher from that company that reaches out to the carrier. I can't name one.
I will say for a little bit, I had a guy at RPM that did that almost daily, but he kept giving me stuff that I was never in the area for, and then I just never heard from him. But I will also say, in the same respect, you can't get a hold of them for a load if there is a load listed.
See, I'm so glad you mentioned that company. They're in the headlines right now. Some CEO, some president, money's going everywhere.
The guy that was running around the place, that guy?
You know what? He probably retired. He probably just got another boat and just sailed off to Mars. $1,000 new car, whatever. Give me. You know what? 1,000 is not enough. Give me 10,000. I'll 10,000 a month. I like that car. All right, fine, Jay. I sound like Ralph. Who's that cranky Democrat? Ralph, whatever. Okay. See, I'm fair and balanced. I don't prefer either party. They're both terrible. There, I said it. Okay. When giant mega brokers reach out to push a load on you that's not near where you are, that doesn't count. That's not proper dispatch carrier outreach. Yeah. What we're talking about, because I've heard, if you talk to any broker or tech company about their carrier program, they'll say, yeah, we're all over, we know and love and do and this and that. But I would love to be able to talk to a dispatcher at a mega broker that all they do is make sure their preferred carriers are satisfied and successful. Which is another reason why I don't like the term customer success, because it implies that you're actually being successful. And at this time, I will raise a glass to another customer success prior employee. I thought he was doing a great job, but no longer there. So here's to you, Mr. You were successful, but they let you go anyways.
It's the Toyota Corolla out of Chattanooga.
Won't see that anywhere else.
Okay.
All
right. Thanks.
You were successful, but they let you go anyways. My God, that's funny. Now, hey, why should I be one of your preferred carriers? Are you paying better than normal? You know, do I get load priority? Are you helping me stay full with a successful route? How about fuel discounts? Can you help me out? Right? And recognition, swag bag, but what about a bonus? Is there any kind of... What do I get for being a preferred carrier? Because I know that the clients you want to add to your, shareholder excitable profit,
right next to where he was.
They're getting free golf tournaments and all kinds of crap, and they may never even say yes. but I'm doing all the work, and I don't really know what the incentive is. How about support and development? Yeah. Hey, what about a training program? You ever want to check in with me quarterly to make sure I know how to use the tech right? You keep saying I'm doing it wrong. Can you help me make sure I'm doing it right? Or, you know what? Yeah, you know how you never know where I'm at? Any way you can help me improve my tech? Right. I'm on a flip phone because I make no money. You think you can help me get into an iPhone? Even an iPhone 2. And then, yeah, man. And then we're moving, we're rolling. You know there's a mega broker somewhere with at least 10 preferred carriers that should be in this kind of program. Are you checking in with me? Are you paying me on time? Like, what is it about this relationship that's so great? And do you have, this is the real one. Oh man, this is where we're just going to fail. Do you have a dedicated carrier program manager? Is there anybody that I can get the phone number to and I can call anytime? Like, they're my personal dispatcher, preferred carrier, awesomeness. Again, I know everybody's at the golf tournament and at the NADA booth. You got like 40 people having steak for 2 hours, running up a 6-figure wine bill. I get that. That's sales. But I'm doing the work. Is there anybody watching my back? Because I'm doing the work. You already got this work. I know. Which means there's no like profit margin because we already got that work. And, hey, maybe we do some KPIs. That's fine. Make me accountable, but help me make my accountability matter. And let's do this quarterly. Let's talk. Let's get together for flapjacks. I know flapjacks. What? What is the origin of the word flapjacks? Let's talk about it over flapjacks. All right, there's your carrier program. Welcome to Auto Transport. You can do whatever you want. Let's see what we got here. I found this interesting. Skip Kavanaugh shared this. Now, this is freight. This is all motor carriers, kind of whatever. But check this out. All right. Are there really 40,000? I guess in freight there are. Oh, no. He says auto haulers. Are there 40,000 drivers in auto transport?
Wow.
Can that be right?
Wow, that seems a lot.
I mean, these are FMCSA numbers. Yeah, I mean, that's mind-boggling. And we got 10 people watching. We're killing it. What's that yellow line? Freight demand. So demand is going up. And also what's interesting, yeah, so number of carriers, look at that. I'm going to guess around the year end, you always have kind of a slump of people going out of business. You think that's right? And that's what I found interesting too. You think there's a year end going out of business kind of slump? I mean, wouldn't that be reflective of what you're seeing on the load boards? And I don't know.
I mean, that's a possibility. I was contributed to the weather, but
wouldn't it be the end of the year where you go, yeah, you know what, we're not.
I give up.
This isn't going to work.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Yeah, truly.
I mean, it's significant. I mean, it is. And actually, look at this. Okay, this is now. Here's what's interesting. I was thinking this was annual, month. This is annual. Over time,
okay.
We're seeing. So scratch that. Ignore what I just said. But we're seeing over time, and that makes sense because this corresponds with. Remember, Mr. Get Rich Quick? He was over here. And now this is more of a COVID line than a Mr. Get Rich Quick correlation. I don't know.
Huh?
Oh.
All right. It's your buddies.
That's them. That's
There
who
they
did it.
are.
Just be
All right, I
careful.
showed it. So they, the driver delivered to the dealership. The dealership said they never hired anybody. So I wonder if the dealership thought the car was still sitting at pickup.
Well, no, because this is the weird part. When I called him, he said he gave me the buyer number with no problem. I told
Yeah.
him, but they seem to think that that's why I assumed they thought I was the carrier that was picking it up. You know what I mean?
It is such a weird one, isn't it? I want to do like a ATI investigates.
With the,
We'll get like a handheld camera. We'll go in the office, shaky cam. You know, and the guy sitting there. Nah. Probably not. Shaky cam. You know, like NYPD Blue. Remember NYPD? They're like zooming in and out the whole time. That's why The Office was so funny. So, are these some of their other listings? What is this screenshot? Why'd you send me this? And I can't hear you. You're on mute. You're good.
this is all
me.
of their listings. Well,
Are they good or what? What's
I mean,
Yeah.
some of them are paying really high, and it's not normal for those areas. Like, for example, the first three from Loganville to Nashville. I also noticed that a lot of them are at Copart IAA kind of stuff.
So now you sent them an invoice.
Mm-hmm. Haven't heard from them. Didn't hear anything.
How did you send it? Pony Express? What'd you do?
No, I sent it through Super. That's what I mean.
Oh,
I had his email.
Oh no! Wait a minute. You got this load through them?
No, I just put it on because he uses that for his BOLs. So
Okay.
and I had his email, so I
Okay.
invoiced him because I wanted to see what really happens.
All right, let's do it. Where'd you get the load through?
Central.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Central.
Note, everybody, let's get working on that code that identifies duplicate listings, because would code that identifies duplicate listings have flagged that load?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because allegedly the dealer listed it, right?
Right. That's what I'm thinking is going on. And then someone's calling and asking for the load, maybe getting dispatched that load, and then this guy is taking said load and putting it on there.
If a scammer duplicate lists a load, is there any way they can hack the load board to remove the original listing?
I don't know. I mean, anything's
I don't either.
possible, right?
Oh my God, DEFCON 5! Okay. Jesus. Well, that's interesting stuff. Oh, how many?
He's got 31 loads listed.
Would the duplicate listing code? How many loads would the duplicate listing code?
Yeah,
I think it's already a thing. Duplicate listing code.
There you go.
And a side of fries. Yeah, exactly. Gary's already answering the question. He's saying 10 to 20% of the loads could be duplicate listings. Is that possible?
I mean,
I've heard people say it could be 10%.
it's happening a lot.
That sounds like a lot. Oh God. That's a lot.
I mean, we know it happened to Alina just a few months ago. Remember, I told you guys that story where the driver showed up the same way. And they said, we didn't dispatch it to you, and it was only paying X amount of money.
And I will say this on the duplicate listing code is that Eric's already talking to somebody in the hallway. I got a buck. Anyways, duplicate listing code, then you could go to the FMCSA and say, listen, we're trying. You know, we're not required to do this, but we're showing good faith. We've created duplicate listing code, and we've implemented it, and we're flagging duplicate loads. We're doing the best we can. What else do you want? Other than my loan payment info on my truck. For Joker 2, in order to prepare for the role of the psycho character, Joaquin Phoenix spent 3 weeks trying to close a shipper by email that started with, "Can I move your freight?" That is funny. I don't share every meme I see, but then I started thinking about the Joker laugh. You know, he's got that weird, awkward.
What was the name of that company?
Dispatching live show?
Huh? What was that
Anyways.
company? Freight what?
Okay. So how about when dispatchers lie? No. Do dispatchers lie?
Yes.
What? What happened?
So, okay. They called to get a load, told me they were picking it up on Thursday, dropping on Friday. Never called to tell me they didn't pick it up. Kept texting them, asking them where they were at. Finally get an answer the next day and being told that, well, I didn't know, but the driver ran behind. He was stuck at the port, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I can live with a day. And I said, okay, so you're delivering on Saturday. Yes, we'll be there Saturday morning. So I'm texting them on Saturday morning and no answer, no answer, no answer, no answer. Finally, after I threatened repeatedly, I got an answer saying that the driver was in West Virginia. I said, what? Why would they be in West Virginia if they're supposedly delivering today? Well, he got stuck and I didn't know. I was asleep, blah, 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 blah. Just lameoid answers. And like I explained to him, communication is key in this
I was
business.
asleep.
Yeah. Communication is key in this business. And I basically feel like I've been lied to. And I said, okay, I can deal with this. Well, are you going to be there Monday morning? Yes. And now keep in mind, this is a company that's hauled for me many, many times. And they screwed up about 6, 8 months ago. I wouldn't let them haul for me for a while. I got assured by the owner that would never happen again. And here we are again. And that's why I told him, I said, obviously you guys do not value our relationship and we will not be working together after this. So I said, I want a manager to call me right now. I want to know what's going on, why I've been lied to for the last 3 or 4 days. I've got a customer that's very upset because I found out they weren't delivering on Monday either. They didn't deliver until, 5:30 on Tuesday. And just so everybody knows, I put exactly on this stuff because it's one of my VIP customers. Anyways, and when I get the call from the manager, I said, I said to him, I said, are you the dispatcher I was just talking to? Because you sure sound like the same dispatcher I was just talking to. And, oh, no, ma'am, no. I still don't believe it wasn't the same person, just so y'all know. I'm pretty sure it was the same person. Anyways, as I went over this whole thing and I got to apologize, blah, 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 and they always blame it on the driver. I think what happens is by lying, they overpromise. And I wondered why they could deliver that fast too. So a lot of times if they're going to go like 800 miles in a day, I say, is this like a team? Yes. That makes sense to me. Okay. But if it's not a team, how is that possible? Well, I was told, how this goes, but, needless to say, that was probably their last run around with me.
Mhm.
And I believe they were I think it's one of those companies that I've talked to you guys about before that went out of business, changed names, and started over with another name of another company. There's a few of those out there, and they do a lot of loads on the board, so most brokers are going to know the name. If I say it, we'll leave that one alone. Anyways, but of course, like I said, they always say it's the driver's fault. We don't know why the driver's there. He's going to get in trouble, blah, 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 blah. Personally, I don't always believe it's the driver's fault. I think it's the dispatcher who told the story and kept telling the story. So, anyways, yeah, dispatchers lie. They should just tell the truth. And especially if you're running behind, let them know right away. Obviously, this person knew that they didn't pick up the car on Thursday because if they were at the port, you and I both know they can look at the tracker because he kept saying, well, let me look at the tracker on Super Dispatch. He knew where his driver was. And instead of lying to me, should have just been straight up about it. And honestly, all he had to say, the weather was bad, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get that. That's all he had to say to me. But that's not what he said. He said, I don't know why he's in West Virginia. I don't know what he's doing there. I'm like, okay.
That sounds like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's in West Virginia.
Good point. But yeah, and I know other brokers have the same problem. And that's why we try to be as honest as possible. If something happens, like if we break down, I let them know right away. I know that's the bad part, You have the honest people that tell the people this, and then you have the people who don't, and then they're always like, yeah, I've heard that story before. That kind of thing. And it's hard to actually be honest with them because they don't believe us most of the time, anyways, because of bad players in the industry.
Or they want pictures.
Or yeah, we've had to send pictures of breakdowns before just to prove that it was true.
So, and I had a guy that already had fake pictures ready.
Oh yeah.
So do we.
I mean, that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Who's lying?
Yeah. True.
You don't know. Is it the dispatcher? Is it the...
Is it the driver? I mean,
Oh,
we
my
know brokers
gosh.
do the same thing. They tell a
Oh,
story about something
totally.
and none of it's
And
true.
shippers lie.
Yes.
Everybody lies.
Yeah. I
There's
mean,
ways
it's
to
just,
glass.
it's
Yeah.
the name of the game, but I hate it.
It is. It's messed up.
Yes.
I think this is why, actually, it's the logistics side that everybody knows is just painful, messed up, terrible.
Yeah.
And that's why nobody's trying to fix it.
Well, this is probably
It's like-
why everybody wants to use an app that tracks everybody.
It's like trying to clean a
Honestly.
slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
It's just going to get bloody.
Yeah.
We're also selling aprons. Yeah, no, that's why they got to use technology to keep you honest.
Yeah.
Jamie, shout out Jamie Anderson. Jamie Anderson is now he works in freight. I believe he drives a 53-foot dry van.
Wow.
I believe. And he is in Texas, and he's been working on maintenance, and I mean, he's just taking it in the shins, like
Yeah.
everyone else in logistics,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he pointed out force majeure. Now, force majeure is a really interesting concept. Force majeure is a clause, a provision, that allows a party to be exempt from fulfilling their contractual obligations if certain events occur beyond your control. A blizzard is force majeure. We can't deliver.
Yeah.
It is beyond our control. Act of God. You've heard act of God. Force majeure. So next time you're at La Poubelle, try the snails and force majeure. A comment on one of my shows was that the phone was answered, but support was not there. I want to thank the commenter. I like that style of sentence. Phone was answered. It's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But support was not there.
Mm.
What a nuance. Beautiful language. Mwah. Piece de resistance. Notice I didn't say anything else. Okay, let's get down to it. What's going on with these hydrants? We're almost done with the show. We knew about empty reservoir and broken hydrants. Said L.A. water chief. That makes $750,000. It's interesting. When irritated, people add other additional details just to hammer that home. Like, I don't know. What's her favorite color? It's not in there. Anywho, sources told DailyMail.com that since her hiring at LADWP, she oversaw the shutdown and emptying of a reservoir in the Pacific Palisades during brush fire season. What? The shutdown meant firefighters battling the current fire ran out of water faster, say experts. The Santa Ynez Reservoir, they're very specific about which one it is designed to hold 117 million gallons of drinking water. But it was taken offline in recent months to repair a tear in its cover that exposed the water and potentially impacted its drinkability. Which is interesting that they were worried about drinkability of water that's supposed to be used for hydrants. Good thinking. And our final story today. Internet sleuths track down repulsive Eagles fan. This is one crazy S story. Sue's going to want to hear this.
All right.
This guy, I'm not going to name his name. He's already, man, the shit is hitting the fan for this guy. And I feel bad for him, but I don't know why he did this. I'm hoping he was just plastered. He's at a football game. Eagles playing Packers. He works at a DEI company. as a diversity, equity, inclusion consultant. And he is doing what at the game? Calling this lady a seat. A C dash T.
Just get under there and go.
I don't know. People found him. He doesn't work there anymore. He's deleted his social media accounts. He was calling this lady in glasses, because she's a Packers fan and he's an Eagles fan, and man, there ain't nothing worse than being opposite fans. He starts calling her a dumb seat. She's an ugly, dumb seat. And they show the video. I'm not showing the video. And I watched the video. I'm like, my God, what is he doing? He just won't stop. He is haranguing her, harassing her. You're a dumb seat. She's a dumb seat. Why are you hanging out with such a dumb seat? You're on the wrong side. They didn't score a touchdown, you dumb seat. Whatever. Anyways, ridiculous, crazy, insane. Oh. I share this story because, Jay, why? Why'd you do the Hydrant story and an Eagles fan story if this is a logistics show? And the answer is camera one. Because unfortunately, this is what's really happening day to day. Is people are acting in ways and doing things every day that you can't believe. And it is across the board, man. It is hard to grasp. It's like the road rage incidents you see every day. You can't believe people that go to church, people that work at schools, people that are doing jobs that seem like normal citizen, upstanding stuff, and it is across the board crazy. I don't know why, but I think when we really understand that this is pervasive among society, we will come off of the perch and get more realistic about the day-to-day problems that just happen. And maybe then actually, all the wonderful slogans on social media, the meaningless BS that gets thousands of shares that nobody seems to be truly following, will go away and will start to act like actual human beings. And that's the show. It's never going to happen, though. Never going to happen. And it doesn't matter one iota what I say about it. None of this freaking matters. Okay. So anyways, I'd like to thank everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much. I will say this. I think it's kind of like, because people pay a lot of money to go in like rooms and scream at the wall or whatever. You're muted again.
Are you talking about the rage rooms and stuff?
Yeah,
like
rage
that?
rooms.
Yeah.
This is my rage room. I feel great now.
Well, it's your turn. I did it last week, so it's your turn this week.
So, jump in the live chat. This is your rage room.
There you
We're
go.
here for you. And I try to keep it clean, too. I mean, meaning like, I don't know. What? Jay, just stop there. You said it. You did it. Done. What do we say, office?
Goodbye, Sue.
Goodbye, Sue. Thanks, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Great show today.
Awesome.
Peace out.
All right. See ya.
All right, see ya. Take care. Bye.